What is going up on YouTube? So here we are. I just released the video today talking about the ball machines. And then I don't know if you saw my post, but I went and picked up an antique pool table today and came back and I have an old set of dirt balls that I think I might actually try to run through one of the cleaners. I don't know. I probably shouldn't. But I do have a set of Aramith crowns that came with the table, which I'm hoping I can get those to turn out pretty good. I think if you really look at these, though, they are really, really, really bad. I just don't know if these are going to clean. I really don't. And then these Centennials that came with the table, I was all excited that the table was sold with Centennials, but look at how horrible those are. Sorry, I got sinus drainage. It's that time of year. So anyway, what we're going to do is just like from the video today, if you watched it, we're going to test these ball cleaners out. We got two of them. Right here's the bucket from Dunsky. And then here's the one from Perimeter Billiard Light that I use. And we're going to see how good or how bad these turn out. So let's get some in there and see what happens. What do you say? Maybe we should just start with the Centennials, or maybe we should start with the Aramiths. Let's throw these Aramiths in and see what they do. We have the ball restorer, the Aramith ball restorer, which does help a lot. Okay, so let's just start with a small amount in here. And if you look, these are beat to death. And they're yellowed, like they're pretty yellow. So let's get these rolling. We're going to put some ball restorer in there, see what they turn out like. Oh, there's a 13 ball. I was going to say, I thought we were missing one. All right, 13 ball in. Let's see if I can get you up on the tripod here. Okay, see how horrible these balls are. See if we can get them to turn out half decent. And my tripod's still acting up. Give me a second. I'll just hold it. All right. Then this bucket cleaner, as you can see, it doesn't have like an on-off switch. It just plugs in. So we're just going to plug it in. I'll move away from it so you don't have to sit here and listen to this loud thing go. But, okay, so you get them rolling like so. Shake up. This is the Aramith Ball Restorer. Let's see how good or bad we can get these to turn out. And you just put a little bit of the ball restorer on there. Whoop, I got too much. That's way too much. If you guys do this, that was a little bit too much. So just keep that in mind. And I accidentally did spill. But you can actually hear this restorer does have like a pumice in it, I guess you'd call it, like the hand cleaner stuff. And it actually, the ball restorer it almost like drags down the motor on this one because that restorer is so violent and it like does cut into the ball a little bit. But I don't know if you guys are watching the Hanoi Open, but a couple crazy matches so far. I was watching who was it? I don't know. It was one of the Filipino favorites was playing one of the Filipino underdogs, and the underdog was like a pretty low Fargo and shouldn't have had any chance of winning that match. And it went downhill, and the underdog ended up pulling it out. It was from the first day. It was a pretty cool match because, like, when you're talking about pool, my dad always says, the fear of winning is sometimes greater than the fear of losing, and that's so true because we lose all the time. So, like, when you're on that center stage and it's the first tournament that was in Hanoi, Vietnam, so all these players that haven't played in events like that were there, and then the other players that were close to home for the first time in a while had fans there and stuff. And to watch like the favorites kind of like, you know, choke a little bit when they usually don't, and then when you let an underdog back to the table multiple times that he shouldn't have been at the table, it kind of just gets that guy pumped up. You know, he just kind of gets feeling good. You know, just sitting in your chair. I mean, that's why Nick Varner always called it the what do you call it? He called it the hot seat, or no, the electric chair. That's what he called it. You got your opponent in the electric chair, but that's why, because you just sit there and all the thoughts go through your head, and it just turns into like you just it's just a bad loop. Whenever you're an underdog, you get to the table a whole bunch. It helps a lot. So let's see. Those are looking a lot better. Let's shut this off. Oh yeah, those look crazy better. Now, so what I want to do is let's get these out. So now that I see that these actually have a chance, oh, what is that? Dude. What is this? It's maroon like a 7-ball, but if you look, it's not a 7-ball. What the hell is this thing? I assumed it was a 7-ball, but it has like a black triangle. I don't even know what that is, because right here's the 7-ball. Huh. But anyway, so now that we see that those balls cleaned up, nothing bad happened, I'm going to go over and get these brutalized Centennials. I mean, these things are horrible. So I'll dig out one of my Centennials and show you. So right there is probably a 40-year-old set of Centennials. Now here, I'll get my Centennials out. So if you look at the difference. So right there is my 13 ball versus the 13 ball that we got with this antique table. So what we're going to do is we're going to let the restorer run on these Centennials for a long time. Like, I'm going to just put almost too much restorer in there. And like, look at this cue ball. Like this table was in a basement with concrete walls and concrete floor. And look at how bad this cue ball was from bouncing around. We're going to throw that in too. So anyway, we're going to rock the Aramith ball restorer. And we're going to put half the balls in at a time, because that's, like, if you watch my video today, that is the downfall. Not downfall. This is for the money. This ball cleaner is really good. You know, it's this bucket ball cleaner for the money. 2, 4, 6, 8. Okay, that's half. So this bucket for the money is actually pretty good. I have no issues with it, other than you have to hand polish them after they run, because they get like almost like, I don't know what the word is. Like when they come out, they get like, they don't really polish up. Let's say it like that. You have to hand clean them after they come out of here. So, all right, we're going to fire this thing up. And you're not supposed to use a whole bunch of this restorer, but these are so bad, I'm going to put a good bit in. All right, let's let that run. Let's let that run for a while. I'm going to get away from it again and just start talking about pole. Actually, you know what? I'm going to put a wee little bit. I know. You know what? I'll come back and we'll put more in. We'll go talk about pole. I don't want to keep the camera by that loud machine. So anyway, while we're on the live, let's talk stories like C.J. Wiley talks stories. So let me turn this. So I'm trying to think of a good pole story. Okay, here's a pole story I never told on the channel. It's actually for this plaque right here. So this plaque right here was from the 14 and under. Let me change the angle. So 14 and under, July 24th through the 26th in 97 in Olathe, Kansas. I finished 3rd place in the nation, and it was 64 of the best players from around the country. So 14 and under, and there's 64 of the best players, and we get down to the final day. So it's the, next to last day. We go back to the hotel room, and I go back. I'm trying to get a good night's sleep, and I'm nervous. I'm already dreading the next day. Just down to me and about 6 other guys made it to the final day, and I get up. I get a shower. I brush my teeth. I'm trying to get my mind right to go finish off this tournament. And we come out of the hotel room, and our van is gone. My dad had a 94 conversion van with a high top. It had the split windows in the front. It was really easy to steal. And we go out, no vehicle. The van is just gone. And we don't really know what's going on at first. And then we look over, and close to where our van was parked was a running Ford Ranger. It was just sitting there running with one of the windows missing. So we kind of start putting something together a little bit. Well, then when they saw us out and realizing that we were missing a vehicle or something, an employee from the hotel came out and let us know that 2 convicted people escaped a local prison and had stolen our van. So they took the Ford Ranger, dropped it, jumped in our van, hot-wired it, and took off. So now that's Sunday morning. I got to go play the final day of the Junior Nationals, where the final 2 go to Worlds. And I have no idea how I'm even going to get to the tournament. And so at that point, we're just sitting there, no idea what to even do. So let's check on these balls. I want to make sure I'm burning them. These are cleaning up. They are definitely cleaning up, but I don't know what I should do. I don't know if I should run more Restore. Probably should run more Restore. Let's do that. The reason you want to not run the Restore quite all that much is because it does have the aggregate in it that does actually, believe it or not, that's what makes balls technically shrink. Balls technically shrink. Like when you put balls in a tray, okay, and they're a unison tray. So if you ever go to a pool room, and like for here, for instance, now this tray is super cheap. I mean, you might not these days want to take my word for it, but if you look at this gap's real tight, this gap's not as tight, and then that gap's really tight. So that could be the tray, but at the same time, that could be the balls, you know, because the balls do change shape actually as they get older. And that's why you do have to buy new balls, especially cue balls. Especially cue balls, you have to buy new cue balls. But anyway, let's turn this back on. I'll finish the story, and we'll turn this back on with a little bit more Restore and see how we can get these antique balls to turn out. All right, that's enough. So, back to the story. So, final day at Junior Nationals. We have no vehicle. I have no clue how I'm going to get there. 2 convicted people out of prison, escape prison, steal our van. It's the final day of Junior Nationals. My parents go in and they're just asking like what we can even do. So my parents didn't believe in credit cards back then, so he only had cash. My dad always carried a lot of cash, and in hindsight, you know, there was other options, but with no credit card, it made it tough. So they send me and I think my mom, if I remember right, or maybe it was just me. They might have just sent me because I wanted to go hit balls and warm up. So they sent me with some of the other kids and some of the other parents, and I just went over to the facility because I wanted to hit balls. Like, even though that someone stole our van, I wanted to go hit balls. So I go over by myself at 14 years old, out of state, and go over and just start practicing on the final day of this Junior Nationals. And luckily I did win one match that day, and then lost 2 in a row then. So I got out to play, like, how's that work? Or did I win one more? Yeah, so I got out to play for the hot seat. I played Jesse Bowman. So I won the whole way through the winner's side, and then got out to play Jesse Bowman to get to the finals, like get out on the hot seat. And Jesse beat me, knocked me over to the loser side, and then I lost again to, from Oklahoma. Dad, if you're watching, what the hell is his name? Anyway, so I ended up going 0-2. I won 1, lost 2 that final day. Well, now we're done at the tournament. We have no vehicle. And this is where the story actually gets worse. So, worse than having no vehicle the final day of Junior Nationals, now we got to get home. We're in Olathe, Kansas. We're super far from Pennsylvania with no vehicle, no credit card to rent a car. And, so hang on. I'll finish this. Okay, these are looking a lot better now. Yeah, these look a lot better. So I'm going to, well, this cue ball could use I'm going to run this cue ball a second time with these other balls. And I'm going to run these balls again now with the cleaner polish. Then I'm going to, after I run them with the cleaner polish, they go in this machine, and it should make them look a lot better. Not perfect, but probably at least usable. They definitely aren't usable the way they are right now, I'll tell you that much. Okay, that's good. Okay, so back to the story. So the tournament is over for me, and we leave. I got a rather large, for the time especially, I got a really large college scholarship. I got a Pachauer. I got something else too, and like that plaque, and then like a kit of like all kinds of stuff. And since we had no credit card, we had to rent or get bus tickets. So we jump on a Greyhound to go from Olathe, Kansas to Johnstown, or Altoona, Pennsylvania, I think it was, or something. I don't even think we went to Johnstown. It would have been to Johnstown. So we start our ride, and there's a lot of ball cleaning left, so I'm going to tell the whole story. So we get on a bus in Olathe, Kansas, and we weren't even 30 miles out of sight, and the local police found our van. But to show my age, there was no way they could get a hold of us. We didn't have pagers, we didn't have cell phones. You know, we were probably at that point only a 15-minute drive away from our van in the compound, and we could have went and got it and drove home. And the reason that sucks is that the trip from Olathe, Kansas to Cleveland, Ohio, which was still 4 hours away from Johnstown, that took 37 hours. 37 hours on a Greyhound, sitting beside two-seaters, and it was rough. And we get to Cleveland, and my grandfather, thankfully, my mom called my grandfather and was like, "Dad, we are on 35 hours and we're not even close to home yet. It's going to be another 10 or 12 hours till we get home." And thankfully, he came and picked us up in Cleveland and drove us straight home. Okay, so now here's the problem with this ball machine, which was in my video this morning, and this is the problem. So if you look, it's the bucket's problem. Now, this could use cleaned, I understand that. But even whenever the machine was pretty new, it just left this residue on the balls. Like, so this machine left the residue on the balls quite a lot. So I have to actually hand wipe these off, and then I'll move them over to here to give these a really good polish. And these are going to turn out good, but unfortunately, they're not going to turn out quite as good as these. These old Aramis cleaned up really well, but these Centennials, unfortunately, the yellowing really wasn't dirt. These old Centennials yellowed because of the, the yellow came because of like a chemical reaction in the ball. So anyway, real quick, I'm gonna have to put you on the tripod, and I'm gonna have to hand polish these, and then we'll move them over to here, and then move on to another pull story. Can I see chat? I'm new. I'm new, so I gotta. How do I see chat? Shane McMinn. There we go. There's the chat. At least I have the chat. But yeah, that's who I ended up losing to then. So I lost to Jesse Bowman and Shane McMinn in that final day after our van got stolen. What a brutal freaking... You want to talk about bad rolls? Show me somebody that had their van get stolen on the Sunday of the biggest tournament of their lives. Come on, tripod. My kids broke this damn thing. All right, there we go. Okay. So... Can I turn it? This will probably be better. I can stand and talk to the camera and clean the polish off of these. There we go. That actually needs to get put up higher. But yeah, so anyway, I kind of lost, you know, I hate to make it sound like I've always only been about the money with pool, but that actual, you know, finishing third in that junior national actually did turn me off a little bit towards pole, and especially juniors, because there was no, man, if you look though, once these come out of here, the before and after on these is gonna be insane. Like if I put this beside the 12, well, if I put the 2 beside the 10 after these come out, oh, it's gonna be like crazy night and day. But anyway, the reason I kind of got turned off to juniors, and this is gonna sound bad, but you know, I was used to playing pool tournaments at my parents' pool room where, you know, a couple days a week, I could knock out, you know, back then, I mean, we're talking early, mid-90s, you know, and at my age, to knock out, you know, $60, $70, even $80 sometimes, you know, a couple nights a week at a local tournament, I got used to having money. I mean, I really... at a young age, got used to making money playing pool. So for us to load up, drive halfway across the country, spend all that money, to have our van get stolen, and they hand me a college scholarship that at the time I knew I wasn't going to use that college scholarship the moment they handed it to me. So I kind of lost the will to want to play juniors. So I mean, I still played it down at I still played juniors down at the Super Billiards Expo because it was close and and it just made sense. Plus, I could go down there and gamble and play side tournaments and stuff like that. So it definitely made sense to go play that. And that's actually where I beat SVB, was down at the Super Billiards Expo in the juniors. All right, so these are going to look actually, I think, insanely better once these run through here. So let's do that. All right, so these already look a lot better. I hand polished and they turned out pretty good. But we're going to run these. That's probably good. Do a half spray there. All right, so we're going to run these through this. Code Dan Mulholland at checkout at perimeterbilliardlight.com. This saves you money and helps out the channel. But we're going to run those. Then we're going to look at them versus those. And I think they're going to look like night and day. All right, so let's talk about another story. Okay, so back to the weekly tournaments and me having money. So, I grew up the way I was from the pool room, and I definitely think that it was a benefit. It made me a better person growing up in a pool room. But where it did make me a little bit different than the other kids, I was about 14, I think, maybe 15. And no, you know what? I was 16 because I could drive. So I'm 16. I show up to school, and I got home from the pool room probably at like maybe 3 in the morning, 4 maybe. I just won the tournament, and it was our Tuesday night tournament, which was our bigger tournament. That was where the A players could play, and at that time I was an A player, so I couldn't even play in the B level and C level tournaments. And so I had a pocket full of money, but I got home, I smelled reeked of cigarette smoke, and I slept about 2 hours, got up in the same clothes I fell asleep in, and just drove to school. I tried to put on some cologne like that was going to cover up, 12 hours of pool room cigarette smell. So I walk into the I walk into school, and I'm sitting there in opening homeroom, face down on a desk, just sleeping. And the teacher comes, knocks on my shoulder, and I wake up, and I'm like, what? And she says, we need you to go down to the guidance counselor's office. So I was like, huh, that's a first. I'm used to going to the principal's office. So they sent me down to the guidance counselor, and he says, he sits me down, and he just starts talking to me, and he's talking to me about like what I want to do when I get older, and he's giving me this whole spiel. Like he must have thought that he must have just thought like I was smoking, or maybe I stunk so bad like cigarette smoke that maybe they thought I was smoking pot or something. I have no idea. So we get talking, and I finally said to him, I'm like, well, no, I said, I'm just tired because I was up playing a tournament last night. And he looked at me like, what? Because, what tournament would, so I was like, no, like my parents run a pool room, and last night was a pool tournament, and I didn't get home till like 3. And I go like this, and I dig into my pocket, and I pulled out, because of other tournaments, gambling, and then winning that Tuesday night tournament, I had probably $300-400 on me. And I pulled out a stack like this, and I said, I got this. I don't see what the problem is. And as soon as I said that, my parents got a phone call, and they were like, they came in and had the discussion. And I tell you what, though, I got to give my parents credit. They knew back then that school was pretty dumb, and definitely told the guidance counselor and everybody that they would help make a change. But I still played pool and ended up, living out the life I got now. So anyway, let's pull these out. Oh man, those look, they're definitely 40-year-old Centennials still, but let's throw these in the tray. So look at this. So that goes to show you. And look, these could run a second time, because if you look, they still have kind of like dots on them.
They still have like leftover. That's not marks on the ball. That's actually the aramith. Look, I'm not trying to shit on that bucket because it does, for the money, work pretty good. But it doesn't do a very good job of getting the air. Now, I put a lot on. That's the other thing, is these balls are really, really dirty. So I put a shitload of aramith stuff on them. But, I mean, let's be honest, though. I mean, how much crazier of a difference is that? Now, the yellowing still stayed there, kind of. But, I mean, look at the blue, though. I mean, that's not even close. So that shows you how good you can actually recover balls if you use it, the machines, the proper way. So let's put these all beside each other. So 5-ball. Shit, I ran all the same colors together. So let's just put the freshly cleaned ones in one row. That cue ball's going in a second time. And then put all the dirty ones up there. But I mean, like, look at that. I mean, what a side-by-side that is. I mean, if you showed up to a pool room and they had these balls, or you showed up to somebody's house and they had these balls, you would not be excited at all to play pool. You'd say, ah, damn it, I don't want to play here. But you show up to a guy's place and he has these, I mean, you're going to say, yeah, they're yellowed a little bit, but I mean, yeah, they look like good balls. They'll play nice. So anyway, I will run these other ones, and I'll post a picture to the YouTube of how the whole set turns out. And if you saw my post, yes, there's tons of videos coming. I'm doing a Q giveaway as soon as I get monetized. I said I would do a Q video or giveaway when I hit 1,000 subscribers, but what I meant was I would do a Q giveaway when I get monetized. So I have 1,000 subscribers. I only need a wee little bit more watch time. So if you can watch videos, I mean, that would be amazing. That would get me over the hump, and then I can do a Q giveaway. But Saturday morning is another instructional video going up Saturday morning. It's a good one. And then I'm starting another table restoration. And then I got some exciting news. This table is for sale. So once that's out of here, I got some big news coming to the channel. Got a table manufacturer that's going to help the channel out. So pretty sweet stuff. But anyway, thanks for everybody that dropped by to watch the live. And I'm going to post a picture on my channel page of all the before and afters of these balls. So thanks a lot. Catch you on the next one.